Awesome, awesome. Welcome to the Cash Flow Empire, everybody. We're every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central. I specify Central because we do have people from all over the country and even world that attend our podcast every Tuesday, where we bring friends, family, partners. In this case, y'all are friends and family. And we like to talk about real estate, just talk about people experience. And what I like to say about our podcast show is that we like to talk about the dirty, ugly truth about real estate. I know most of us are in many different groups. They like to paint a pretty picture, about real estate. They like to say how it's so easy to do after you buy a $40,000 mentorship. We have all figured that sometimes that's not the case. So that being said, it's a nice special guest as we have Ellie Baxter and Stacie Freil, which is they're some of my mate, they're not only partners of ours, but they're my personal friends. We met earlier this year. So that being said, ladies, introduce yourselves and let us know who you are.
Awesome. You want to kick it off, girl?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Stacie Freil. I'm in North Carolina right now. I've been a part of multifamily for just about a year. So I'm almost at that annual. Got in November, the end of November. And before that, my world was in finance. So I did a lot of financial planning, estate planning, wealth transfer. So when I left that realm to jump into this world, I said, what two amazing fields to connect and go ahead and bring it together. So I watched a Facebook ad, like I think some other people did. And I saw this amazing person jumping around with energy saying, let's go. And I went to that seminar and signed up, and, the rest is kind of telling its own story.
Nice, nice. Ellie, what about you, girl?
You gonna tell a story how we met, Stacie?
I'm saving it. Go ahead.
You saving it? Okay, I'm gonna say it.
Go
All
ahead.
right. All right. So what's up, guys? My name's Ellie Baxter. I've been doing multifamily for about a year and 4 or 5 months. And it's been absolutely amazing. I signed up with Tyler Devereaux in June of last year, and I had just gone through a really fun divorce, and I was like, can I swear, or is that not a good thing?
Go for it.
I was like, what the fuck am I going to do with my life? Right. So I was like, I want passive income. I want freedom of time. I don't want to do a 9 to 5 job. Okay. I was working sales job. Like that's my background is sales, e-commerce. I used to sell shit online. So I've always had like that mentality of wanting that passive income, but I didn't know where to go from after my divorce. Right. So when I went to the 3-day, it literally changed my life forever. But that was a pretty penny, right? $40,000 is a lot, right? So I'm like, I cannot make this go to waste. So you guys, I literally eat, sleep, shit, multifamily. So if you guys have not read the 5 a.m. Club, I would recommend it. It changed my life forever. So I got up every single morning and just like studied the shit out of multifamily, and then did my normal 9 to 5 and did that. And then within the first 90 days, got into my first multifamily, actually Sergio and I actually are on that same deal. It's a really fun time, 382 units in Jacksonville, Florida. So since then, it just opened up the floodgates. And then I met Stacie on a network call just like this. And I was scrolling around, like looking to see who was on it. And there's like 300 people. And I saw like this mad scientist hair, like cool energy vibe from this woman right here. And I was like, man, how crazy would it be if we were to like talk? Because I was like, she looks like a fun person. Y'all, out of 300 people, she and I got into the next breakout room. So I basically manifested, right? And so that shit was awesome. And then since then, Stacie and I have just decided to team up and work together. And we just like have been mentoring new students, and we just got and closed our very first deal together, Stacie's first deal here in Charlotte, North Kakalaki, 65 units. And we're just continuing to kill it.
Nice, nice. North Carolina, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Charlotte. So I want to introduce you. First of all, congratulations, guys, because it's amazing whenever you're able to do something this big, just because sometimes it feels impossible. We know that, a lot of our people in this room right now, they're just getting started. We're all underwriting. A lot of us are just kind of just new. So we know how scared it can be. We know the ups and downs, as we both know in that one deal. But first things first, congratulations, because it's not easy. It's a simple process, but it's not easy. You do have to put into work. And I do want to introduce you, and maybe we can do it off record. I want to introduce you to one of my good friends. He's actually in North Carolina. So it'd be cool for y'all to connect. He's one of our partners and one of our good friends, Kevin. He's not in the room yet, but he will be in about 20 minutes. But
Cool.
anyways, let's talk about really quick, because you just started a year ago. You're closing deals left and right. Y'all are asset management, you said. How is it? I guess I want to make a comment and maybe just kind of elaborate off the comment I'm going to make. For everybody that's in this room, just getting started, you can do a lot in a year. These ladies right here have only been doing this for a year. And these are the type of girls, these are the type of people that I love to hang out with. These are the type of people that you meet in this room, which is why we love to bring these type of speakers. But how is it? Talk about mindset really quick. How are you able to get where you are today in a year? Because it's common, but it does feel impossible.
Man,
So,
that's a good question. You want to take it away, Stacie?
well, I would just say that, Ellie kind of said she took a dive deep in eat, sleep, shit, right? Multifamily, right? So, and you told her she can swear, so just FYI, it's over for the rest of the hour. It's gonna be, but anyway, I did the course, I did the 4 weeks, and then I was thinking, well, I'm in finance, well, I'm in this. I tried to tackle it alone because I didn't know anybody at my class. I didn't really trust anybody at my class in order to say, I want to go into business with you. I want to sign a contract with you. So I kind of went alone at it at first. And somewhere I kept on going to the Tuesday calls. I kept on doing the Tyler Devereaux multifamily calls. And it was literally just through networking. I met a couple good people who did introductions to a couple good people who kept me knowing that there's something better, there's something out there, but I really got to go and search for this. I really got to go and be active. And one thing that I did not do until meeting Ellie was I wasn't active on the Facebook group. I just wasn't. I wasn't introducing myself. I wasn't saying what my strengths are. I wasn't telling people what I was interested in doing, what I was willing to help with. I just was kind of watching and liking and just staying very passive, just very much so on the side. And so when I met Ellie, one of the very first things that she did, she gave me a homework assignment. And believe it or not, I know people are like, you guys are partners. Did she give you the assignment? This is first time being told, but truth. She was like, you're going to get on Facebook, you're going to post, you're going to go and like 10 people and comment on 10 people's posts. You're going to, she gave me a list of like 4 and 5 things. And then she held me accountable. She called me and the next day, and actually when I was doing a couple of the things on Facebook, she texted me to say, good job. I see that you're, on Facebook, right? So I kind of felt good because here's somebody who's a top contributor and they're reaching out and saying, hey, you're doing something that's right. So that was the first guide for me to knowing I'm in the right direction. I'm doing something right. And then she gave me, more homework. You got to get on sponsor calls. You got to do this. So, I mean, it was really just for me, that's how I got going, was by taking the initiative and finding somebody like Ellie who said, get off your ass and get going. Like, what are you doing? And here's the steps to take to get there. So
I don't like the word homework, Stacie. I like more like the word challenge. I challenge you to, I'm just kidding. A lot of people, as soon as they hear the word homework, they're like, absolutely not. So, but yeah, no, I love that. And just to tie off with Stacie, this is the same feedback that was given to me, but when I first started, is people need to know who the fuck you guys are. Like, and that is why it is so important to network and like get yourself out there. So for anybody that is part of the MFM or even just on any sort of social media, like get yourself out there. The very first thing that I did is, right, you are who you hang out with, right? Like the first 5 people that you hang out with, right? So I spent like 3 hours one night when I first started on my bed, just liking and following and friending as many people as possible that do the same thing as me, right? And if you guys know what Eventbrite is, if you guys know what Facebook groups, right? What is it? Meetup.com, y'all. There are so many free events that you can go to, right? So just getting yourself out there is so powerful, and it helps with your mindset. So Sergio, you're talking about mindset, right? And a lot of people ask us, like, how were you able to get your first deal so quickly? And that is by having that mindset and that manifestation that you are going to do it. All those nights when you're like, fuck, like I just worked 10 hours, I'm exhausted, I don't want to do nothing, I'm going to put on some Netflix. Absolutely not. I canceled my subscription from Netflix. I did not go out, I did not drink, I did not, like people, friends were like, where are you? Like, why are you not hanging out with me? I'm like, you know why? Because I want my future to look a little bit different than y'all's. I want to make sure that in my future, I have that freedom of time where I could watch and binge watch Netflix, right? Where I could go travel the world and stuff like that. So it's really that mindset of knowing that you guys are worth the success. You guys are worth all the good things that come to you. You just have to work really freaking hard right now. And that's just my mentality. And my favorite thing that I think about whenever I want to quit is white robe, glass of champagne, toes in the sand. Okay. So just think about that.
I love it. I love it. You guys are awesome. Y'all are just hungry. And I crave to be around hungry individuals. I cannot stand to keep hanging out with people who aren't as hungry as I am, which is why I love doing these calls. You know, it fires me up. And you guys, like for somebody here that's brand new, talk about really quick. I know we were talking, y'all brought something up very, very good. And I want y'all to kind of tell me what your superpower is for one, and talk about how your superpower can get you into deals without necessarily needing to have a lot of money. Because I think if you figure out your superpower, a lot of people say, oh, I can't get into multifamily. Why? Because I don't have any money. But I think I'm a firm believer that once you find your superpower, you're able to use your superpower to get into some type of deal and possibly raise all this money, and you can get compensated for that through helping people out from using your superpower. So that being said, what is y'all superpower, and how is it that Stacie and Ellie are able to collaborate together to be one team and to be able to raise that 1 million on y'all's first deal?
You want to go kick it off? You want me to?
Go for it.
Okay. Well, so my superpower would be flying. I've always wanted to fly. No, I'm just kidding. So my superpower would be for for doing this is literally investor relations, capital raising, and networking. Like I kind of went over it. I think that with having that ability to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, one of my favorite sayings, so you guys are going to hear a lot of them tonight because I don't have just one, is you have to make yourself uncomfortable to be comfortable, right? And so getting out there, right? That's a superpower in itself, right? Is getting yourself uncomfortable, right? So when you're going to these random ass meetups and you're like, I don't know a single person, but you're putting yourself out there, like that right there, you guys, is so powerful. And adding value to other people is so powerful. So I think that would be my superpower. I think like with this Thompson place, I have met people now that I call today, like my family, like this beautiful woman right next to me, her name is Eden, and she is somebody that we met through networking, and she became an LPGP on this deal. Eden, you want to come say hi real quick? You guys have to meet her and network with her too. This is Eden. Eden,
Hey,
20 plus years. And she's extremely powerful. And you want to say a little something about yourself?
Sure. This is exciting. I think I've been in multifamily for about a year, even though I was doing single family for quite some time. And I really didn't know how to tackle the whole multifamily education because I thought I had to learn everything first. Didn't even know what role I could play. So when I met Ellie and Stacie, it was it. That's when that's when I got to the deal and I was able to find a role. I'm still learning and so much excited. And the fact that they give me energy, they are like full of force to 100% multifamily constantly. So they're either on a Zoom or on a call. I feel like I get more from these two than I did in any education of multifamily or single family or any place that I've done. So thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
Thank
Ellie.
you. Nice to meet you, and congratulations. I think you've made a wise choice. Partnering up and trusting Ellie and Stacie. They're amazing people. And congrats once again.
thank you.
Sergio, do you like how we bring our own endorsements with us?
I do. That's
Anyone
the
else?
first.
Anyone else wants a paid endorsement?
I-
Just talk to Sergio about it. We got you. No problem.
I totally put you on the spot. So, but I do that all the time. But yeah, that's my
He's
superpower,
amazing.
guys.
Eden is outstanding and amazing. So
It's
yeah,
investor relations, capital raising, and adding value and putting yourself out there. I think that right there in itself could be as simple as just going to a network event, but look at the power that it comes with it, right? So that right there is extremely powerful.
Stacie, you next, girl. What's your superpower?
so my superpower, I think is just really, I'm not gonna be like Ellie, like disappearing or coming back or flying. I would more so want to be able to be underwater and be able to navigate. I'm my superpower. But as far as like our chemistry and things, I think what's very important with Ellie and I is that one of us takes a role one night, but maybe someone takes a role the other night. So we don't have like I lead on this and you lead on that. We really flow off of each other on how we're feeling, what we, have going on that day. For the whole time that we raised $1 million, we were on a 3-hour time zone difference. So for me being on the East Coast and her being on Seattle time, there was times I was on, calls at, 10 o'clock at night, and I'd been up, at the gym early that morning. So, Ellie took a role, and then I would just come in and I would just hit some very quick and hard fine points of what needed to be known, what you need to do. Here's where the next steps are. Thank you for coming. Right. And I would get in. So we really worked. Our chemistry is really well together, and we don't mind sharing or asking people. And that was the point, like with Eden, happened to meet her on a Brian Briscoe call. Right. Eden, I found out, was actually in my Charlotte class with multifamily. So I got on this call that Ellie, I don't want to say made me get on, but challenged me, right? There we go. We got the Ellie word challenge. So Ellie challenged me to get on 3 calls, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. One of them was Brian Briscoe call, and that's where Eden was in a room with me. And she said, maybe it's the hair, I don't know, but she's like, I know you. She was like, you were in my class. And then I'm like, oh, I know you. I know right where you sat. We connected at that point. And then that's when we said, there's not very many of us out here still, working together. What can we do to come together? She's like, I'm looking for a deal. I said, we have a deal. So if we have a deal, you like the numbers, you have a deal, right? So that's really how that came, about is just really sharing and collaborating and learning from everybody and being okay to let other people take different roles at different times and not feel like you've lost your identity because somebody stepped up and did something that maybe they weren't accustomed to doing. Because it's kind of nice to allow somebody to do something when you're used to doing it all the time. It's kind of nice to sit back and see them, just shine. So, I think that's something that we have very powerful, amongst ourselves is that, we just want to shine and do big things.
I love it. And I think that's the point, guys. That's the point. And if you're going to get out of something, what they just said, I think it would be, you can't do this alone. Don't try to do it alone. Don't try to do it all alone. Because that's one of the mistakes me and Jonathan made. Me and Jonathan try to all we were all underwriting. Me and Jonathan and Tony at the time were all underwriting. We were all talking to brokers. We were all doing it all. And it was just a pain in the ass. And we learned the extremely hard way after wasting a lot of time the first couple months that we were in the industry, that's not the way to go about things. Like, man, we need a solid team, right? That being said, I think it's just kind of backtracking a little bit on how you're able to find amazing partnerships like Stacie and Ellie have, how me and Jonathan and the rest of the cash flow Empire team have. Guys, it could be in this room right now. You just never know who you're going to connect with. They don't always got to be in your city. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that I was making is like, you know what? I'm in this little lake in my town, in my city. And that's all I have to choose from. That's the only inventory. Little did I know that when I went to a real estate conference that I invested $1,000, and at the time I put it on a credit card, and at the time I thought I got scammed, is where I met my partner, Jonathan. And through that partnership is where we've closed $1 million assets together. We've made thousands of dollars together. That 100x that $1,000 investment. I got somebody on the call right now, Eduardo Coronado, him and his wife. You know, they're doing. We met at a Grant Cardone event. He started partnering up with us. He started meeting a lot of the people we knew, and boom, he closes a freaking $2 million asset through the partnerships that he's met through networking, and they're killing it. And there's more to come. And that is the importance of gambling on yourself. That's the importance of really just getting out there, guys, and partnerships. Guys, go out there and meet people. We got an event this weekend, ladies. I don't know what you guys are doing, if y'all are free, but we got a $97 ticket that we're selling at ConnectCon in Dallas, Texas, where we're going to have some amazing speakers, and we're going to have a lot of people in the room. That another thing I want to make a point of, Stacie, you mentioned that you met, what was your investor's name? Y'all's investor's name?
Eden.
And it wasn't the first time that y'all clicked. It wasn't the second time. It was probably the third time. Hey, I've seen you before. Hey, come here. It wasn't the first time. It wasn't the second time. Sometimes it takes 4, 5, 6, 7 touches for y'all to officially establish a great relationship. So y'all got to get in these rooms. Jonathan just posted the link, connectcon.com. If you're in Dallas, or if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we got tickets for sale at $97. We don't reduce them. They were like at $300. We got them for $97 for you to come this weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
That's an Arizona ice green tea, y'all. Okay. That's how much y'all drink Arizona's. Okay, just me. All right. Sergio, can I say something about that too?
Let's go. This is your platform tonight. Let's go.
All right, cool. So y'all, let me tell you about creating relationships, right? It is insane how much time it does take to really get to know somebody. I think that not specifically saying MFM, but I'm just saying in general, I think people are so quick to be like, we got to get on a team. We got to like get as fast as possible, right? But I don't think that that's accurate. I think you really need to take your time and figure out and hone into what your value is, right? Your superpower, and then bring it to a deal, right? Bring it to a group of people and be like, hey guys, I'm a bomb ass capital raiser. Like I want to bring capital to you guys, but and I want to see how we work together, right? Don't just jump into it right away. Because unfortunately, sometimes through syndication, it can cause you're like marrying these people, right? And so you really don't know what they like work like, until you get onto a deal, right? So I would always suggest creating, for instance, Stacie has her own LLC. I have my own LLC, but we formed a separate LLC for the deal that we just closed, right? And we're going to see how we work together, right? And obviously, I mean, it's okay. She's kind of annoying. No, I'm just kidding. It's great, right? It's great, right? We're seeing how our pros and cons, how we work together before we really take off. And I think that's really important. And then one last thing is, it can take a really long time, what kind of going off what Sergio was saying, to create and establish a relationship. You guys, I had this guy named John who he and I went on a George Roberts call. I don't know if you guys have to do this, but get on George Roberts call. It's every single Wednesday. I have had so many people that I'm like, get on this call, and then they get on their first deal because of the people that they meet on this call. People from all over the US get onto his network call. It's completely free, right? So John and I were on this call every single Wednesday, y'all, for 7 months. Okay. And no matter how many people, it could be 5 people, it could be 20 people, it could be 100 people. We were always in a breakout room. And at some point I'm like, bro, this is annoying. What's what we can't really add value to each other. Cause at that time I had an underwriter, right? And we didn't know how to add value to each other's life. Right. Fast forward 7 months later, of course, Wednesday comes around, we get onto a call and he's like, Ellie, I just don't know what to do. I've been part of MFM. I've been underwriting for 1.5 years and I still don't have my deal. Right. And at that time, Stacie and I had just signed on with Brian Briscoe for Thompson Place. Right. We had just started raising capital. I'm like, there's a reason why we're in this breakout room. There's a reason why we've created this relationship. And so 7 months in, he raised $250,000 in 24 hours and got onto his very first deal. And that is with us. So like a year and a half of trying to get on a deal, 7 months of us communicating and learning each other, we got on a deal together. And he is now forever our family, forever our partner, and forever our underwriter. And I make him work, y'all. Okay. I make him work, but it's amazing relationship. So I just want you guys to know that it's okay to take your time, enjoy your journey, never compare your journey to someone else's journey.
Great advice. Great advice. And I'm enjoying this a lot. So we've talked a lot about mindset. We've talked a lot about the different partnerships, maybe our, what our superpower is, because a lot of people tend to kind of get intimidated. Like, well, where do I fit in? I want to do this. It looks cool. The apartment, buildings. I want to buy some too. I want to be a part of that process, which is absolutely amazing, guys. I hope that every single buddy in this call gets the opportunity to get on a freaking deal, learn the process from the very beginning to the very end, and just know how to do that and eventually scale to where you're able to JV with smaller partners and close these deals on your own. But anyways, what is let's talk about some ugly things. I mean, we all hear about the beautiful things about multifamily and real estate in general, a lot of money being involved. What's something that you've kind of learned that looked pretty from the outside? Everybody looks at that green grass, everybody looks at that trophy of these investments and these apartments. What's something that you learned along your journey that it was like more of an oh shit moment, like, damn, I wish I would have knew this earlier along, or damn, I just learned something very important in multifamily. This isn't so fun, but this is the reality of the real estate game.
Take it away, girl. Or you
Want me to be the damper of
I mean, I can go, then you go. I don't care. It's up to you.
dun dun dun. I mean, I can say that for me, just being in the business world, there's all the same similarities, right? That happen in the multifamily world, right? You have to know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, how can you know if they're doing something right or wrong, right? The other thing is just because it looks like it's right, have you verified it? Right? Have you went back in person, not just because so-and-so gave their sign off on it and said, yep, looks like a great deal. And then you do that. Oh, well, if they said it's a great deal, gotta be a great deal. I don't know how to underwrite, but they said it's a good deal, right? That kind of thing. So I think probably my biggest lessons, so far as it doesn't matter what a title is that somebody has, how many doors that somebody has, how many deals that somebody has done, how long that they've been in the industry. We're all really on the same pivotal playing field. And in the terms of being a former basketball person, if you can't pivot, you're dead in the court. So, that's the point. Everybody has to be able to pivot. And even when people are down, like you see some giants that have had some hiccups and things, that doesn't mean that they're not going to come back swinging and still take care of this. Everyone's going to come back from some of these interest rates and some of the things that's going on, and they're all going to be even more strong for what we've endured, right? And that's the fight in all of this. And that's why it's like, be careful trying to jump onto a deal if you haven't really looked at the numbers. We looked at probably 8 to 10 deals before we picked that one. And we had a couple others that were like, here, do this. Hey, do you want to raise? Or hey, help us here. And we actually, pivot. Doesn't look good for us. Pivot, or too much for us. Or pivot, we're going to have to say no, right? It's okay to say no. That's the other thing. Own your no's, because that means that you are giving an answer. And I'd rather all day in business talk to somebody who gives me an answer than somebody who dances around exactly what they're trying to say. So that would be probably just a couple of my things, is just, verify, don't hold things against people, verify yourself. Don't go with what people, in the room are doing. Make sure it's for you, just because it's for somebody doesn't, and it's a good deal. Maybe it's not for you and your investors. You got to really, know who your investors are, to know, are they looking for a double equity play in 5 years and they don't care about cash right now coming in hand. Maybe you've got some seniors or some different people or people that are about to retire and they don't want no more income. They're in their highest tax bracket right now. So they don't care about that income coming in right now to pay taxes on, but they want that doubler at the end because maybe they want to roll it one more time into another deal so that they can have a nice retirement. So those would just be some of the things that I would just, put out there probably that has helped me quite a bit.
That was fire right there. I love how you just started talking about your investors. I loved how you were talking about the power of saying no, because I think as guys, when you first get started, you're gonna get emotional. You're gonna be like, shit, man, I'm just trying to get in a deal. I want to get in a deal. Sometimes saying no is the best thing that can happen, like Stacie said, because even me and John, man, we went to Houston. There's this guy that was very desperate. You can tell he was desperate to raise for this deal right before everything started tanking. It was already going down. The interest rates were skyrocketing. People were still doing these type of debts. So me and John were like, man, we sat there, we walked this nice B+ asset, and we're like, man, we got a bad feeling. We were gonna make a lot of money. We were gonna make some money raising for this deal. But guess what? Guess what was first? Kind of like where you went. Our investors were first. And we thought about our investors. We're like, you know what? This does not sound safe for our investors. This situation's a little sketchy. We called them back that next day and we said, listen, we appreciate the opportunity, but we're going to pass. Good luck on your deal.
Yep.
And maybe on the next one, we can make something happen.
Absolutely.
A couple weeks later, the deal fell through. So imagine if we would have said yes. Imagine if we would have put our investors and we started wiring money into this deal. It would have been a horrible situation for us. But like Stacie said, guys, you got to know when to say no. You got to know when to walk away from this deal. And that is super, super key. Thank you so much for that. Let's go with Jimmy before. Jimmy, do you want to ask your question, or do you want to let Ellie go really, really quick on her point of view?
No, I want to hear from Ellie.
Let's hear Ellie really, really quick.
Jimmy.
Oh, okay. Hi. So really quickly, just kind of tie off of what Stacie was saying. And I'm probably gonna get some not so great feedback from sponsors, but y'all, let me tell you something about sponsors. It's like, when you buy like name brand shit, right? Let's talk about Apple, right? You're buying brand, right? You're buying high-end brand shit, right? So you're paying more for that Apple Watch, for that iPhone, for that Samsung Galaxy, right? But at the end of the day, y'all, you could go to Best Buy and get the same thing for half the price, and it still works just as well. So the reason why I'm telling you that is learn about your sponsors. Just because their name is so high end and such like very powerful name does not mean that they are the right fit for you. Right. A lot of times people say like when sponsors are looking for capital raisers or people to be on their deal, right? Well, it's vice versa. We are also wanting to make sure that we and our investors fit with our sponsors, right? We need to make sure that we do our due diligence, right? Because you guys, when I got onto my first deal, the name brand thing came up and I was like, oh yeah, let's go. Like the numbers look good. The names are fire. Like I want to get on this deal, right? Well, the name don't mean shit. Okay. It's about how the sponsor works. It's about how you work with a sponsor. You need to do your due diligence. You need to make sure that it works exactly what Stacie's saying, that the numbers work, that our buy box matches with our investors who are a sponsor. But a lot of people get on deals because of the name brand, because of the sponsor's name, but that don't mean shit. So just make sure that you do your due diligence on your sponsor.
You made an amazing point. Before I go to Jimmy, I want to kind of tie into that just because I want this to be a lesson learned. If you're on this call and you're eventually wanting to be an operator, general partner on multifamily, you want to actively do capital raising, you want to actively do asset management. These are the ways to look at things. But most importantly, if you are a limited partner, which we all should be here, if you're the one putting some skin in the game and you're thinking about getting in this industry, do not be afraid to ask these questions, guys. These are the questions that you have to ask because it's at the end of the day, it's your money. Do not be afraid to sit there and ask, who is the sponsor? Okay. Are you, if the general partner you're investing with, how involved are you? do you have a say in the deal? You know, how active is the sponsor going to be there?
Mhm.
Asset management. Who's going to manage the asset?
Huge.
Are they going to be there 24/7? And you have to build this confidence and ask these type of questions as a limited partner, guys. At the end of the day, it is your money that you're investing. So if you're going to learn something on this call tonight, learn how to ask some of these questions. Don't be scared. You are entitled to know every single detail
Mhm.
on the type of investment that you're investing in. And this is the point of these type of calls, guys, is so that you can also learn how to talk to different type of operators, so you know what questions to ask, so that you don't get screwed at the end.
And Sergio, if I might just add,
Come
2
on,
cents.
let's go, girl.
The other thing, so that you don't, as you put it, get screwed in the end, ask for your contract. If you're raising and you're doing something and you're supposed to get something and it's supposed to be whatever, man, closed mouth doesn't get fed. You tell somebody you're gonna raise $500,000, and let's say that you fall short at 450. Does that mean that you get nothing? Because you didn't hit it? So do you get any GP or do you not get GP? Did you get an experience, which may be worth it, right? Because that's still a learning experience. So I'm not taking away from that, but I'm saying, do you know the terms of your own deal? So just like you're telling your investors, these are the terms of the deal. Do you even know your own deal?
Mhm.
So that's
Sign away.
huge, because if they're unwilling to send you the by email, your PDF, how you're going to get paid, how your investors, when they watch the seminars, if they're going into your portal or it's going into their portal, right? Because they're your investors. So do you know how you're getting paid? And it's not really shame on anybody in the industry. It's not anyone's job to teach you. It's your job to ask questions. It's your job to educate yourself, because in this business, again, a closed mouth don't get fed. And then it's like, well, why didn't you ask that? So know these things. And that's why when Ellie says the sponsor and get to know your sponsor, and is it your buy box of a sponsor? We have conversations with our sponsors before we even raise about a lot of things. And it's okay. And if those answers don't come back okay, we're still friends. We just say, it's probably not going to work on this one, but let me know if you get another and we'll let you know the same, right? It's okay. It's okay.
And
Damn,
I'm
girl.
literally, y'all, like, let me tell you something, just exactly what Stacie's saying, and I'm going to be completely vulnerable right now. I did not get paid for my first deal because of that exact same situation, not knowing my sponsor, not asking the right questions, not like signing some sort of OA, right? Like that's imperative. That is something that happens all the time, where capital raisers get screwed because they're not doing that. They're not signing some sort, and per SEC regulations, y'all, if you commit to 500 and you only bring in 100,000, you are supposed to get paid. You are supposed to get some sort of percentage, even if it's half a fucking percent, it's something. So don't let that commitment scare you, or don't think that you, like, if you think you can't do it or whatever, try your best, right? But just know, per SEC regulations, you are supposed to get paid. And know your sponsors, exactly what Stacie was saying.
Nice. I love it, ladies. I appreciate that so much. And before we go to Jimmy really quick, just a quick comment. Guys, reach out to us. I mean, the girls have their scanners up on their corner. Like, if y'all have any type of questions, obviously y'all know us, who we are, the Cashflow Empire. Reach out to us, ask us questions. We'll help you vet. That's why we're here. We know a lot of people in this industry. We know who kind of starts to fly sideways a little bit. We know who flies straight. Best believe, reach out to us, ask us a question. Hey, have you heard of this cat? Yeah, I know who he is. I know who she is. What do you think about him? They're good. Okay, cool. Do you know this person? Yeah, I know him. Be careful. That's all I'm going to say. Just be careful.
Yep.
So ladies, that was freaking A1. Thank you so much for that. Jimmy, let's go.
Keep it real, bro. We'll keep it
Keeping
real.
it real on this podcast tonight. I love it. That's why we're here.
For real. It's for real.
Jimmy.
I'm so excited to hear from Stacie and Ellie. I mean, you guys have no idea how much they have impacted so much people when they speak at our meetup in Seattle. It's just amazing. So we miss you, Ellie, in Seattle, for sure. And Stacie, please take care of Ellie. And I know you guys are going to bring something big over there as well.
Absolutely.
For sure. So we're looking forward to hang out with you guys in Seattle. My question is for the LPs, right? So I know you guys are very good in capital raising. So for an LP, so for someone that just wanted to invest for the first time, obviously everyone have fears, all of the things that you guys just mentioning. When do you think, what kind of common fears that you see in the first time investor? The second thing is, when is it enough information, right? Some people just want to get all kind of information. When is it enough to jump in and invest?
You want to take it or me to?
I think you go ahead, Ellie. Go ahead.
Sure.
I've got mine. You go ahead. It's probably not going to be the same, so you can go ahead.
I think it is because literally as soon as you started talking, I'd already thought about that in my head. We have like this telepathic thing.
1, 2, 3, go.
Tomatoes. No? All right. So Jimmy, let me talk to you. Let me tell you. Okay. So I think that the first thing, what was your first question?
Investors.
Investors, what?
The common fears that you see from
common
the
fears. Okay.
first
I
time
was thinking about the second
investors.
question. Okay, so I think the biggest fears that people have as a first time investor is getting their money back, right? Like, because if you guys think about it, right, if as an LP and you put money in, like this is for the first time, that's a lot of money, right? A lot of people are like, I gotta pay off my debt. I need to do this. I need to do that with this money. But society does not teach us to invest. Society does not teach us, right? Like in high school, we're studying stupid shit, like chemistry. Like who uses chemistry? Nobody. Who uses buoyancy, physics? Nobody. So no. So like this is what we should be learning is how to invest our money. And I think that is the biggest fear is like society doesn't teach us that. So like how do we get an LP to go from taking their $50,000 and paying off a some sort of debt and instead of then trusting us with their money and putting it into a deal and seeing that return multiply, right? So I think that's like one of the biggest things that I see. And that is why it's so important, you guys, when you guys are getting on your first deal, stop chasing the deal, stop underwriting, stop doing everything. Okay. Put your pens down, chase the money, bring in the capital. When you teach people and you add value to them, right? And they actually physically see how their money is working for them, it is extremely attractive, right? So something that Stacie and I do all the time, as we get on weekly webinars, we memorize the shit out of our pitch deck, right? So when you get on a deal, a sponsor has a webinar or a pitch deck, they give it to you. You memorize it, you learn it, you take notes, you role play, we practice all the time, right? So that way, when we do get a limited partner come in, and it is the first time that they've ever put their money in, they are going to leave that webinar extremely confident where their money's going to do, like how their money's going to work for them, how it's going to multiply, right? Because we're instilling that confidence and that trust with them. So I think that is how we overcome that first LP investment. And guess what? It comes into repetition where they want to keep coming back because they're like, oh, wait a second, my $50,000 is going to do what now? It's going to multiply by 2 times. Okay, let's go. I'm going to keep giving you guys money, right? So that's how I would do it for LPs.
And I mean, probably for myself, like with the LPs, I like to approach things just in the financial aspect. I like to know that people are going to look at their risk and their time horizon. It's that simple. They want to know how long is it going to take for them to get their money back? So that's when you hear people talking about, will we refi the property, right? Or you want to tell your investor, is there a possibility of refi or exit early, or is it a strong hold for 5? So you have to see their risk tolerance as well by asking them, are you in a 401k? Do you own any stock? Do you have any CDs? Talk numbers, because you're going to show them numbers, right? You don't have to be good at the numbers. Just ask them if they do any investing. Most of the time, you're going to know who you're talking to know. And so the point is if you put everything out there in the front and you talk to people and like Ellie said, sit there and show them the numbers and how their money can work for them, and then tell them how it's going to apply to a problem that you heard them telling you. Because if you know your investor, right, if you know your investor, you know how soon that they're going to retire, if they want to send their kid to college, if they're wanting to take care of their mother and father because they're getting older, if they want to do in vitro fertilization because they're having problems to conceive a family, whatever it is. If I sit down and somebody's telling me why they're giving me their hard-earned money, I need to tell them what this can do and how it can, come back to them, and the things, remind them of their why, right? So tell them all the ABCs, remind them of the why. And at the end of the day, I think you said, Jimmy, how long do you, keep giving them information before maybe it's information overload? For me, I keep giving them information as long as they ask me questions. And when when they're good, I'm always asking them, is there anything else that you saw? Is there anything else? Is there any other questions that you have? Write them down, get back to me, right? I'm going to keep asking them until they don't have any more questions. So
Yeah, I don't think there is such thing as an overload, right? Because I think we're always learning. And as an LP, it is imperative that you continue to learn, right? So it's for me as LPGP, that's something that's never a thing as an overload. Like, I want someone to over explain it to me instead of under deliver, right? I want to hear as much information about investing and what my money can do for me as an LP.
And on a short skinny, obviously everybody knows interest rates are going up. So if I'm already knowing that, I should already be prepared before sitting down with an investor to already overcome the objective of how this property is already overcoming the objective that they're going to put in front of me, right? No, every lawyer only asks a question that they know the answer to, right? I already know my investor is going to say, what's going on with all these high interest rates? I mean, how can you guarantee, right? I should know we've got something fixed. I should know that we've got I should know to already overcome that objection. So that's also something that being prepared, so that you can come with confidence that first time, that right time with your investor. That's very important. If you have doubt, they have doubt. So already be prepared to execute.
And just to let you know, guys, this did not come overnight, okay? Like, when you're learning about this and you're talking to LPs and stuff like that, you're going to fail. Like, it's going to be bad. Stacie and I's first webinar blew it. It was so bad. Okay. We laugh at it now, but man, back then I was like, what are we doing? So it's okay to practice and role play and go over it, right? She had to talk shit to me. I thought I was okay. She was like, nah, girl, you suck. So then we had to like go over it. It was that bad, yeah. And then I was like, well, you suck too. So we're like, okay, what can we do to explain it better? Right. So we took notes, and it took time, and it takes practice. So don't think that this talking to LPs just comes automatically. It's going to take time. But you guys, that's why it's so imperative to put yourself out there. For anybody that's part of the MFM, I challenge you, no homework, I challenge you to make a video of yourself and post it onto the MFM network page about who you are, what your value is, and that you are looking for a deal, that you are here to add value and to learn. And guess what? Everyone will come and reach out to you. There's over 3,000 people in that community, and a lot of them are sponsors, like low-key sponsors that you would never know were sponsors, right? So make a video, put yourself out there, and then learn, right? Get on a webinar, learn, memorize it, practice in the mirror, right? Do different accents, have fun with it, right? Because at the end of the day, you're adding value to someone else's life, right? So these are just tricks for you to do in the future.
Amazing. Great answers, ladies. Great answers. And before we go into breakout rooms, because I know it's two of you guys will probably, y'all are giving amazing answers. But really quick, one of the last questions, and guys, remember, if you have any questions, please post them in the chat, or come step up and raise your hand. What would you do different? It's been a year, you're in a couple deals, y'all are asset managing, y'all have raised money. What would you do different when you just got started? Any advice that you would give somebody in this room that's just getting started or dabbling into multifamily? If you were to go back and give yourself some advice and you would do something different, what would you do?
Ellie, you want to take that one? Let me take it.
I mean, we could take it together at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm just kidding. You guys, I would absolutely change nothing from my experience, because everything has led me to where I am today. And so all my failures, all of my things that I did not do a good job on, all of the things that I did do a good job on, I'm very proud of where I am today. And I strive to continue to do better and do more and more and more. The one piece of advice that I would give, and I think I kind of touched on it before, I've had the privilege to kind of go work for MFM and do previews in 3 days. And that's one of the number one pieces of advice that people always ask me, like, well, what is the advice that you would give to somebody who's starting out, right? And here's the number one thing that I would say is, know your worth. Like you guys, I can't tell you how many people only know what society tells us, and we're robots to the society. And I think that's so fucked up, and it's not okay. Because guys, did you know the average person that retires lives only 14 years after retirement of 65? Does that sound attractive and fun to you guys? Like, does that sound fun, working 9 to 5 for 65 years or however many years, and then retiring and then dying 14 years later? Absolutely not, right? So change your perspective, change your mindset, and know that you're worth it. Knowing that you are worth all the success, and to not give up. Because you guys, are so many times where I wanted to give up, especially when I'm like going through my divorce, like eating a gallon of ice cream a night, like all of those crazy nights, right? Where you just like want to stop because you're so exhausted. Do not give up, and strive to be better, and know your worth. Because you guys, every single person in this room is worth more than society tells us.
I would
That was
say
amazing.
probably what stopped me from was obviously the Facebook, the interaction. I wasn't getting out there. I wasn't getting the exposure. I wasn't saying what my talents were. So I should have done that earlier. I felt like I'm going to wait till I'm prepared to tell them exactly who I am, right? But no, it's like, get out there, say who you are, be vulnerable. And, probably the other thing that I would say is that find somebody who is successful, find somebody who's doing something, find somebody that has deals under their belt, and say, hey, I want to learn from you in some aspect. How can I do that? The reason I say that in 30 seconds or less is the woman Eden, who had jumped on there for a second, she would have never called herself a capital raiser. I heard her just saying it to somebody the other day, and was telling them, I would never have thought that I could raise any capital or do anything. I was talking to Stacie, and she invested in the deal. She had friends. She didn't know whether they'd invest. She didn't know at all. She gave me their numbers. She let them know that I was going to give them a call to invite them to a real estate opportunity. That's all that they knew. I called them. I invited them. They came on. She was on. And then boom, guess what? Her people invested. And she's like, wow, guess what? She became GP. Guess what? She's on the property. She's helping run with the property management, the asset management. These are things that can happen, guys. Get with people that are like-minded, that are successful, and say, how can I learn or be a part of what you're doing?
Can I also say that Stacie was not going to get on that network call that night, but when she met me, and
get on the call, that is true.
Got on the call, and it was, what was the best $40,000 you ever spent because you met me? No, I was kidding.
That's funny, but that's amazing, ladies. I appreciate it so much.
No
Before
problem.
y'all start to hop off, some people. So what we do is we do a breakout room where people get to network. So
Okay.
they get lucky, they might get with one of y'all.
All right.
Before you hop off, scan Ellie and Stacie's information.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how you're able to get a hold of them. If y'all want to continue to just stay in contact, please scan their information right now before we go into breakout rooms here in about 2 minutes.
Sergio,
But-
can I say one more thing really quickly?
Yes, please.
Just to promote really quickly, you guys, one thing that Stacie and I love to do is we want to help you guys succeed. So one thing that we do is, no matter what deal we are on, we want to share our GP, because at the end of the day, it's not about how much GP we take home, how much pie we take home. It's about the quality, because I want all of us to succeed. Stacie wants all of us to succeed, right? So if you guys are interested in learning how to raise capital, and you guys want to get on a deal, and you guys think that you can learn from us and bring some GP, guess what? We're going to give you some of our GP just to make sure that you guys get on your first property. Okay. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Love that philosophy. Love it. We practice the same model. And it's important that, you know, you don't be greedy, you know, share some money. There's
We're all
plenty
in it.
of it in this world, you know, so I
Yeah.
love it. Y'all are amazing for that. So once
Thank you
again,
for having us
scan
here,
them.
Phil. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
no, you
Thank
guys
for
are
having
awesome.
us on. This was awesome. Appreciate you.
Yeah, let's go ahead and John, let's do some breakout rooms really quick. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have a chance to network and let's see who's the lucky persons that get on with Stacie or Ellie.
My gosh, Tom.
Let's go.
Let's
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Oh yeah.
Can we all take a shot real quick? No, I'm just kidding.
Water.
No, I don't want water. I want tequila.
Tequila.
How's
Just
it
kidding.
good?
No, I'm
John.